The other thing I wanted to know, and you've kind of just touched on it, being Māori, being tangata whenua, do you think this hits harder? And are you more impacted by this than some blimmin' rodeo clown like me who kind of sees the world in a different way?
I think, I mean, we're all descendants of the Tiriti here in Aotearoa. Me as tangata whenua, you as tangata Tiriti. I think we all are intertwined in the trauma of colonization. Sure, my ancestors felt it and lost everything, but we're actually all part of the de-traumatizing and trying to make this country the best it can bloody be. And having learnt those experiences, your role to de-traumatize and to not repeat that as one nation onto another is just as important as my feels. And so I think I don't want to assume that my pain is any less than another person who's a mama who's watching the babies or who's a husband watching the wife. I think, humanity for all of us, and seeing it, the degradation of it as we're seeing now, is really important for all of us. But what I will say is, as a survivor of colonization, and the Taranaki Tribunal report has said, survivors of Holocaust, I absolutely empathize with the fact that we have the opportunity to help alleviate and add to those who are fighting against settlers and the settler colonial mentality. And it's not a war. I mean, it's disproportionately not a war. I get so annoyed when I hear people say, "Oh, we'll let the Hamas hostages go." Okay, absolutely. 22 versus 11, 12,000 that are detained, that are held without any trial. Like, that's just the disproportionate killing and murdering, and the way that things are going are just absolutely something that this country should have understood. And so it's really, really hard when Winston's taken a stance that reflects that traditional Westernized caution and colonization, to actually see him any different. And I think for many of us in international law and global practice, that we need to be more humane in conflict. And I think, the conditions, I think he put about 6 reasons why, what was the word he used? The viable reasons that we can't support them. There really is a precondition for peace is actually to remember what we had come from. And I think a precondition for peace is to see everyone equally as humans.